to episode 138 of The Greywoodieshow Show, your home for all things pipe, tobacco, pens, life, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nathan Davis, joined as always by my woebegone co-host, Eugene Falco.
What's up, man?
Not too much, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Good to hear. Just okay.
Woe be gone.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what have you been up to?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Jen got a new car.
Nice.
Right now I'm just dealing with that.
All of the fun that comes with that.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, I have not done very much outside of work. Just listed new K Woodies, sold all those, sent some to Missouri Meerschaum. Yeah.
Yep.
By the time you hear this, they should be with Missouri Meerschaum, so keep your eyes open for new listings there. I'd tell you to check Greywoody, but at the time there were like 2 pipes, so
Right.
they went pretty quick. Even some of the people on the Discord were disappointed they missed it. I'm like, well, I tell you guys when it's coming. If not directly, I mention it.
Right.
Tell you when to check your emails. That's the other, big secret. That's not a secret at all. Check your emails. I always give 24 hours notice to email subscribers, and by the time I post on social media, there is very little left.
Right. I get email notifications from Greywoody.
Good.
So.
Not that you buy much there.
Nope.
If you want something, it's really easy
But
to get.
if I'm getting them, you're getting them. So check them.
Yeah, you who are infamously terrible at getting your emails.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he can pull it off, you too can do this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this week on The Greywoody Show, we'll have some sharp implements and the hunt.
Ooh, the hunt, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
This episode is brought to you by an Opus 88 Omar demonstrator with some brown diamine Christmas ink of some sort. I'm smoking a Greywoody Tawny Burl Billiard with a massive chamber. I forgot how big I made these guys. It just took like half that pouch of tobacco. Haven't smoked this thing in forever. It was sitting there on the shelf, and I was like, ooh, it's a Crag Tawny Burl, one of the ones with extra rustication before being sandblasted and then sanded back.
Fancy.
The pipes that I used to learn how to make sure I could make red roots correctly later. But in a brown motif instead of the kind of black and red orange.
Well, it's very nice looking.
Speaking of smoking half a pouch, I broke out an old favorite. Kind of funny. I'd never really thought about who made it. So I'm smoking Clan Original today, which you may know as Clan Aromatic, but at some point they had to rename it Original because of the European laws. This is traditionally very difficult to get in the United States, which is why I didn't give it much thought. When people were traveling, they'd grab me a pouch along the way. This is very much not a U.S. release. Can't tell from this stamp where it was sold. But lo and behold, this is an STG product.
Yep.
And I never really put any thought into it. I liked Clan, and I got Clan, and then I pop open the package, and it's made in Denmark by Scandinavian Tobacco Group.
Oh, I like that picture of that ulcerated tongue on the pouch.
Oh, yeah, you gotta love the European packaging. That's
Pretty great.
It's really nice.
I wonder if the guy whose mouth that is, like when he saw that it got put on a tobacco pouch, was like, oh, I'm famous. Look, Ma, I did it.
I did it, Mom. Oh, that's awful. So yeah, an old favorite I busted back out. Was excited to find a pouch laying around, as I am wont to do, and discover that it's apparently an STG product. Still can't get it here, but hey, it's when I travel, I find it.
Yep.
So this is, it was taken over by STG around 1998. A lot of people complained about the tobacco post STG. This is one that I laugh at when people say, oh, it's really gone downhill. Like, most people don't remember what something tasted like in 1995. It's really hard to say how much it changed if you haven't had it since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1998 STG took over, and the reviews and complaints are pretty spectacular. I'm sure you can smell it. Clan is known for having a very unique smell. and I started it while you were upstairs. I don't think it's overpowering, but it is unique. Let me get it relit a little bit here. So this was sold, currently is sold as combining 14 different tobaccos. So what they are, no idea, but there are 14 tobaccos in this one blend, which, is going to make every bowl a little unique, I think. There's no way to get 14 different tobaccos evenly throughout everything.
Right.
Which is part of why I went with such a massive bowl, was I knew I'd get a fair sampling of all of those tobaccos.
Mm-hmm.
But 14 tobaccos, mild, cool, and slow burning. If you go to tobaccoreviews.com, the biggest complaints are going to be that it is neither mild nor cool, and it does not burn slow. Being kind of a heavy aromatic, it's known to bite and to burn a little hot. A lot of that's technique. Obviously, you can smoke it slowly.
Nah, why do that?
Yeah, but if you're used to just throwing the, cheap pouch aromatic in a pipe and freight training it, it's not going to burn slow or smooth. But that's on you. But in looking at what people had to say, so this was originally sold as a young man's tobacco. Back in the 1960s, when all the old guys were smoking St. Bruno and tobaccos like that, they decided to put out Clan and really market it to the younger 20-something men. You see a lot of the old commercials. It's still like businessmen, but they're trying to set themselves apart from their older counterparts with their St. Bruno Flake and Ready Rub. So this was the reason it was made to be so unique and so odd smelling, was to really make it stand out and to try to capture a younger audience, like we always do. Get those kids in early.
That's right.
My favorite part of tobacco reviews was talking about how, besides the distinctive smell, that a lot of these cheaper pouch aromatic tobaccos like to use casings for effect. And you'll find a lot of them are pretty heavily cased. So my favorite quote is, "In Clan, the casing is napalm and the flavor is fire." And it gets a whopping 2.06 out of 4 for its rating on tobacco reviews.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it's because my nose is clogged with like resin particles or whatever. I'm not really getting much smell out of it.
Yeah, it's not, like I said, I don't think it's overwhelming, but when you do get a scent of it, it is different.
Right.
So I liked it. I still do. This is probably at least a year since the last time I smoked it. So I'm coming back to it with an open mind and palate, wondering, did I just love it because it was so hard to get? Like one time Kathleen Kelly was over in Germany, the owner of formerly Cup of Joe's and now Queensberry Cigar. And she had sent me a picture of what there was there. And I'm like, ooh, I hear about Clan all the time, but I can't get it. So she brought it. And then over the years, a bunch of different people were like, oh, you like this? Let me grab you some. So I've smoked a fair amount of it, but it has been long enough now, and my palate has changed, and the world has changed. And I've smoked, 200 other tobaccos since then. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure, but I'm still really enjoying it. It helps that I'm, on the podcast talking. It's really slowing me down, but it's not biting at all. I don't find it all that hot, but again, I am like a slow smoke aficionado, so maybe it's just because I slow down enough. Right. And obviously, yeah, the more I talk, the harder it is to smoke. I can see where it would bite, but as long as you're paying attention to what you're doing, at any tobacco, though.
My nostrils are tingling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it going so it fills the room a little bit.
No, it's kind of neutral to me. I don't know.
Yeah. even puffing hard on it, it's still not biting. Getting it really going. I mean, you can see it's pouring out of the stem. It's pouring out of the bowl. It is way too hot, and it's still pleasant. Most tobaccos taste better slow.
Right.
This one, I think you actually get more flavors out of it when it's hot. And none of them are still off-putting, napalmy, or fiery. It really does make you wonder sometimes, like, when these people are home alone smoking their pipes, what they actually are doing.
Oh, there we go.
Getting it now.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. It's in that similar vein. It doesn't smell like Warhorse in any way,
No.
but like Warhorse, it is intended to be purposefully contrarian.
It smells like burning coffee.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I can
some
see
kind
that.
of pee.
I don't get pee, but yeah, I can smell kind of like a burnt coffee going on. Probably caramelized, steamed stove tobaccos that once they burn hot. Oh, I still enjoy it, and yeah, like I said, it makes you wonder what these guys do at home when they're smoking their pipe. Are they clearing a bowl in like 15 minutes? Is that why it's napalmy and fiery?
It's probably best not to wonder what people are doing at home.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
In my mind, it's never anything good.
So yeah, I'm now purposefully burning this as hot as I can, and it doesn't hurt, and it's not doing any of the things that they say in the reviews. Mine has a little age on it. I don't know. Maybe that makes a difference. Is there a date? No, not unless it was made in 1366. Yeah, it looks like German. Probably came from Germany too.
Yep.
I had a few friends travel to Germany over the years and bring some back. So it's a freshly opened pouch, but it's been aging probably a couple years.
Yep.
Probably helps it dry it down a little bit, but whatever. I enjoy it. I'm sorry that everybody else hates it. This week we do have some fan mail.
We do. We do. Let me fire that up. So if I get an alert for the fan mail and try to open it from the alert, the notification,
Yeah.
I can't read it. So I have to like go through the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's buried in our settings. You have to go to the more, and then That's why I make a point to mark down when we get them, so I remember to tell you to read them.
Yep. So this week, our fan mail is, quick question. Does anyone know if there is a club for the Hudson Valley that meets somewhere midway instead of in the city? That question comes from us on March 3rd from Newburgh, New York.
Well, thank you for your question. And that begs the question, where in the world is the Hudson Valley Pipe Club?
Where in the world is Hudson Valley Pipe Club?
So, not necessarily supposed to talk about it. It's kind of like Fight Club. There is, in fact, a Hudson Valley Pipe Club. They do, in fact, meet outside of the city. But in order to find out where they meet, you have to get on a super secret private email list, and then you have to get invited. And then you get invited to a place that they don't want to tell you where it is. And then, in our case, Eugene and I finally got fully invited and asked to come to the March meeting. And then we got an email that it was canceled.
Right.
So we changed that. We had everything set. We were both going. And then shortly after it was canceled, there was another email about an alternative location. And one that it sounded like it was much more public until we were told to make sure you alert somebody when you get there so they could open the door to this public location that requires help getting in. So then we were going again, and then they weren't sure they were going to meet there. And now the latest I've heard is they are in fact going to be meeting there, but I don't know if it's true, and it's the day of, and I'm getting tired of being invited, having it canceled, being invited, and having it canceled over and over and over again. So yes, there is a Hudson Valley Pipe Club. No, I don't know how to tell you to get there. And I can't help you join because I was asked not to say any of what I just said.
Keeping secrets, huh? You're so good at it.
So we are going to keep updating you on the privacy or non of the Hudson Valley Pipe Club, and maybe someday we'll be allowed there. Maybe they canceled it when they heard we were coming.
Maybe someday we will make this an official segment, and we'll do the acapella rockapella thing from Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, only Where in the World is Hudson Valley Pipe Club.
Yeah, if you guys really like that idea, write in a lot so I can try to convince Eugene that this must be done.
Or you guys can just record it and send it to me, and I'll use it on the show. I don't particularly want to do it.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Everybody should record their own Where in the World is the Hudson Valley Pipe Club and send it in, and we will play it every week while we try to locate their meeting.
Yeah.
And make it to one.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea.
All right. Let's move on to dumb questions from the internet.
It seems really early.
There's more on the backside this time. Yeah,
all right.
I changed it up a little bit this week just because I felt like it. Oh. All right. So first, this one just came in. I had to add it in last minute. So I tried to get on the tobaccopipes.com website tonight. It redirects to pipesandcigars.com. I'm guessing it's been sold? Part of the Sutliff sale?
Oh, they were just hacked.
This just goes to show you, it does not matter how many podcasts and forums and Facebook groups and people say something. There is somebody shocked at every turn.
Right?
I'm guessing it's been sold. Yes, that would be a pretty good indicator. Mm-hmm. Maybe part of the Sutliff sale. Well, I'd have a hard time figuring out what else could have happened.
Right.
Now, I will say, most people saw the well, I say most people. Most of our listeners, I guess, have seen the email. We had heard at the latest March 31st, everybody would be closing down. Obviously, that date got bumped up a little bit, and tobaccopipes.com and cupofjoes.com shut down on Monday. What was that, March 4th?
Yes.
Yeah. So they took final orders until like 5 o'clock in the morning.
It was actually the 3rd, but
okay, thank you. I'm not looking at a date anywhere.
I just want to say yes.
Well, I laughed because there were actually arguments about that. One of the forums, somebody got the date wrong, somebody put the wrong day, so I couldn't remember what the right one was because there was like a 3-page argument about which days were which, and then it turned into timelines. And anybody who had the date right might wake up to a better timeline where Sutliff still existed, but if they got the date wrong, they belonged on the timeline where Sutliff is gone.
Wow, that's some like MCU
yeah.
multiverse kind of shit going on right there that my brain can't wrap itself around.
Yeah, so I went down a pretty bad rabbit hole, and that's why I don't remember the date. Yeah, so I mean, I guess technically the 4th, because they took orders until like 5 a.m. instead of midnight, like they said. And so those are shipped. And yes, tobaccopipes.com and cupofjoes.com are officially done.
Yeah, that sucks. But hey, at least the weather was nice, so that it's been pretty nice down there, I think.
Yeah.
So that way Midward won't freeze while he's waiting in the soup kitchen line.
I did check in with him today in our world, in our timeline, and he is not semi-retired yet. He was actually back in the office because while the orders are done, there is still stuff being shipped out to the other retailers or back to Denmark, blah, blah, blah.
I prefer my timeline where he's standing on a corner with a jacket that's got holes in it. He's waiting in line to get his food ration, and his little boy looks up at him and goes, Papa, are we the poor? And he says, yes, we are, son. Yes, we are.
We're just hunting Pokemon in this park all night.
No, you stick to your own timeline. This is my timeline. My multiverse right here.
Well, that's just tomorrow. Today, he's in the office.
Instead of catching them Pokemon, son, we're going to have to eat them. I recommend eating the stupid-looking ones first. It's hard to eat something that looks cool.
Yeah.
That's why we eat deer. You ever realize how dumb deer look?
They do look pretty bad.
Bunch of idiots running around, jumping in front of your car.
Yeah, they run from your gun, but they jump in front of your car.
Stupid-looking animal. That's why we eat them. Cows.
Yep.
You ever looked at a cow?
Yeah.
Wow, what a dumb thing. The only thing dumber than a chicken's a rock. Yeah, we eat the dumb ones first.
Yep. But not the humanoids, man.
That's a good episode title.
Yes, it is. Too many humanoid Pokemon now. Can't go eating those, otherwise everybody starts calling you a cannibal.
Well, rather eat them than the other thing people want to do with them.
True. All right. Rule 34. What? Oh, man. All right. Question number 2. Does stoving do the same thing as compressing tobacco?
Probably not. Otherwise, it would all just be called the same thing.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, there are 2 different names for it. I mean, in fairness, I guess, stoving and sweating are similar. So, yeah, no, compressing the tobacco makes flakes, marries the flavors. And stoving, you heat and sometimes pressurize the tobacco, and it changes the flavor. It literally, like, caramelizes it and sweetens it and does all those things. The only time this can get confusing is hot pressing. Hot pressing is basically stoving and compressing at the same time. So you can combine those things, but they are different. And even when you press, there's usually some heat applied. And even when you stove, there's usually some pressure applied. So there's crossover, but they are... a stoved Virginia never really needs to be pressed, and a pressed flake never really needs to be stoved.
Fantastic. Fantastic information.
How much for the toe? So, back to last week's episode. I hop on a post and somebody's selling a pipe, and their big old foot is sitting right in that picture. And I was like, no way. So I open it up, fresh off a recording last week, all ready to make some dumb comment, and they beat me to it. The first comment is, how much for the toe?
Gross.
Really took the wind out of my sails, though, because then I had nothing to say. I was like, oh, it's not funny twice.
Then you just watch the post to see if you ever answered.
Yeah. Anyone got some deets on Germain and Esoterica date codes?
Yep. Sure someone does.
Do we really live in a world where people old enough to smoke pipes and be parts of these forums actually talks like that now?
Who got the deets, yo?
Yeah. Spelled out, too, like DEETS. At that time, once you're typing, it's actually easier to
It's only 3 letters short of writing details.
Right.
You're not saving any time writing deets.
Yeah, it's bad enough if they actually talk like that, but the fact that they type like that, like, man, are there children in our midst again?
It's actually only 2 letters short.
Right.
Boy, I am not. I'm not bringing the thunder today. Whew. Just still thinking about how stupid deer look. About 5 minutes behind. I'm on a 5-minute delay today.
That's fair.
Well, 2 or 3, whatever. Who cares? No one can count. Just say details. Please.
Yeah. So, do you have the details on how to date a tin of Esoterica or Germain?
Printed on it somewhere, I'm sure.
Nope.
Well, then they don't. Then no one knows.
Yeah, the details are really easy. There isn't a date code. They have internal codes, and the same tin from 2024, a month apart, will have different letters on it. Unless you work for them, you have no idea what their codes mean. It's randomized. There's no direct correlation to a date. It seems fairly well documented that they go, this batch we're going to use this number on. We know by looking that number up what that date is, but there's no like calculation or way to figure that out.
Yeah. How about you don't worry about it? Mind your own business.
I mean, just
smoke it.
Do like everybody else does. Smoke it right away, or write the date you bought it.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee beyond that.
If it's not on the shelf at your store, and then every day you check, and then the one day that it is on the shelf, there's a good chance that it was probably made pretty recently.
Yeah.
Write the date you bought it on, go home, smoke a whole bunch of it, but don't tell your wife. Keep it a secret. And then a day later, confess. And feel ashamed.
All will be right.
Feel ashamed of yourself for keeping something like that away from your spouse.
Yeah, with tobaccos like this, you actually make a really great point. So if you bought it at your store They're really hard to get. They're really limited releases. So if you found it and bought it, you know it was made recently.
Nobody's just releasing 20-year-old tobacco.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. Unless it's on like tin bids.
Right. So that's the next step. Okay, so you're looking at something on tin bids and you want to verify the age they're telling you.
They're going to tell you what age it is, depending on what kind of dollar amount they're commanding. Because if they're like, oh, this is like 40 years old, and I stole it from my grandpa and never got around to smoking to it because he caught me stealing other things and slapped the shit out of me. So I forgot about it, and then I just found it. So I know it's at least 40 years old. They're going to put that because they're going to want an astronomical amount of money, right? Yep. Because for some reason in this industry, old is gold, and I don't understand it. Like, you're all confused that, like, oh, if it's really old, it's really good. Sometimes things don't age good. Sometimes they don't. But whatever. If you want to pay more for old ass crap, go ahead.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
And the answer is you can't verify they're not lying to you.
Right, you can't. It's all you just gotta trust and believe, I guess.
And to your point, oftentimes there are plenty of people who smoke quote unquote old tobacco and talk about how amazing it was, and I've known for a fact that they were lied to.
Yeah.
I've seen the person who sold it to them and gone, they literally just bought that. But they still believe it. They still believe it is amazing. So some of that aging might be all in your head.
See, like, we're sitting on a literal, I don't know, cases of aged Frustica 1800. Do we get to charge more for it now because it's aged?
It will never be made again, and it's aging. And every year that price doubles.
Yeah. Sounds like what everyone else is doing. So why don't we do it too?
Yep. Done.
If you can't beat them, join them.
I'm going to start putting 1 tin on tin bids every 8 months.
Smart. We should both do that. We should try to out-age each other. And then get into squabbles about who's right about the age.
Yeah, when you're like, oh, this is 1 year old, I'm going to wait a day and go, this is 1 year and 1 day old.
I'm going to wait.
The flavor has changed significantly in those 24 hours.
I'm going to wait to post mine on New Year's Eve. And then on New Year's Day, I'm going to double the price. Because it aged another year.
Yes. The magic of 3 minutes between listings.
What is the point of holding on to it? I don't understand. Why hold on to any of it? Why hold on to your old ass tobacco?
I mean, the only reason I hold on to mine is so that I have tobacco when I go, I can't buy tobacco.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a safeguard to running out.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if I could ever run out at this point, but
no,
which is why I don't buy very much. I look for exciting releases. Some of the stuff that Sutliff was able to make one more time I picked up because we knew it was the last time that they'd make it.
Right.
But that's where it ends for me. And I buy extra to put it in the cellar because I know there's a day where I go, man, Greywoody just doesn't pay the bills. I can't buy tobacco. I can only make pipes. Right. So then I have a lifetime supply.
So in about 10 years, I think I'll post all of my awesome Sutliff tobaccos that I have.
Yeah, you want to give it long enough that they understand that it's really gone and it's not sitting somewhere on somebody else's shelf. And but you also want to wait until they're not angry anymore. Yeah,
I'm either going to sell it and have money, or I'm going to have to trade it for eggs. Something.
What is a reasonable and equitable swap of pipe tobacco per cigar?
Who could determine that?
Right.
Who could determine that? Without being specific? Shut up.
Yeah. Without
Put your fingers away, Junior. You were asking. Yeah, no. I'm definitely not in the mood for this today. That is ridiculous. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard you read off of that paper. How could... Nobody could answer that.
No.
That is a question you post because you just want to argue with people. Because there is no answer.
Right, there is no answer. You can't do it by weight. You can't do it by number of smokes because...
I could say the value of your clan tobacco right now the equal swap that we can make is I will swap you one backwoods grape cigar for that pouch.
Yeah. And there's really no argument.
Mhm.
Either you agree to that or you don't.
Right.
Yeah, if you do it by weight, it's ridiculous. If you do it, okay, well, you can only smoke a cigar once. This pouch has 10 bowls in it.
Yeah.
You couldn't expect to get 10 cigars for a pouch of tobacco.
Right.
Just because that's an equal number of smokes. Yeah, there is no correlation. In fact, I would highly recommend against trying to get into that because somebody is going to get pissed.
I will trade
no matter how you do it.
This tin of 5100 for one packet of Picayune cigars. I mean, who knows? I mean, that would make sense if you used like, hey, should I trade blah, blah, blah tobacco for this blah, blah, blah cigar? Then people could like research and verify and be like, that would be a terrible trade or that would be a great trade.
Right.
And just like, what is, if I wanted to trade some tobacco for a cigar, would it be fair? How the hell am I supposed to know? How is anyone supposed to know?
Yeah, and my guess is somebody was looking at number of smokes, and when they tried to trade a tin of tobacco, they expected 10 cigars back.
They don't even smoke the same. You can't even calculate it that way.
No, there's zero way to calculate it. Yeah. And then go ahead and try to rate your enjoyment of things. Well, I really like this, so I think it's worth more of those cigars. Well, then just keep it.
Right. Right.
You're only trading it because you didn't like it. So already you're on the wrong end of this deal.
Join a pipe club and trade your tobacco out, your pipe tobacco for other tobacco. And just buy your cigars and...
Yeah, it all comes back to UPCA, man. Use the UPCA, find a pipe club, go horse deal in person, or come out to shows.
Do not
like, hey,
try
I
to
have
use...
These.
Don't try to use the UPCA to find the Long Island Pipe Club, though.
Yes. If there's anything more difficult to find than the Fight Club Pipe Club, it's the Long Island Pipe Club.
Yeah.
Super exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this just says crazy enema screenshot.
Well, you're what?
Let me...
No, thanks.
I didn't want to write this one down because, boy, are you in for it.
I'm going to pass.
No.
Please let me pass.
No.
I don't like the second word you used.
All right, so somebody posts, asking for a friend.
Oh my God, they are not.
So there's no, of course not. There's a book there. Okay. All right, this is Tobacco, A Cultural History of How an Exotic Plant Seduced Civilization. Anybody here get in touch with your ethnic roots, particularly their Colombian heritage, and do the Kleister method of enjoying tobacco? Basically, you make tobacco tea and do an anus enema using a hollow bone to transfer the tea. I guess this lets you get in touch with dead people or something like that. It would be hard for me to explain to Grandma how I got here if I did contact the deceased.
Oh my God.
So this book apparently lays out for you how to use tobacco for enemas.
Oh, and ghost talking.
Yeah. It's apparently such a spiritual experience that you can talk to ghosts, and they're worried about their grandma finding out why they're talking to ghosts.
I gotta tell you, man.
Oh, grandson, I've missed you so much. How do you talk to ghosts? Well, I use this hollow bone.
Jesus Christ.
I put it up my bum and loaded up some tobacco water.
That can't be real. Is that real?
Well, we're going to have to buy the book now and find out.
Okay, what's the name of the book? I'll look it up.
All right. That's why I was like, I'm just going to read this one. I'm not going to write that down. Tobacco, A Cultural History of How an Exotic Plant Seduced Civilization by Ian Gately. Might be easier to just look up. Okay.
It's on Amazon.
All right. How much?
Let's say. Oh, we could buy this on Amazon. The Kindle version for $9.99.
All right.
The hardcover one's $8.94. Paperback is $11.89.
Sounds like hardcover is the way to go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Send me the. It's a business expense. So.
It's a used, very good condition.
As long as it wasn't used for an enema, I'm okay.
I'm not comfortable buying this book used?
Send me the link.
Okay.
I'll buy it for the show.
Okay. All right. Please buy the new one for $11.89. Do not buy a used enema tobacco book and think that you're going to keep it here or anywhere. Oh, God. It's probably got tobacco enema juice all over it. That's disgusting. All right. Here you go. Sent over.
All right.
I thought that book would be impossible to find.
Me too.
It came right up immediately. Oh, yeah, look at that. There's like a naked woman handing a tobacco leaf bundle to some kind of indigenous person who's not even making eye. He's staring right at her crotch. This is a book we should own. My goodness.
Yep. So I'll see how much of that is really in there, and we'll do another show about it.
I guess we'll have to, for science, see if it works.
I'll read about it.
Me too. Me too. I'm only going to read about it.
I'm sorry, Shannon. We're recording, so if you're wondering why I didn't answer.
You don't want to answer right now.
Yeah, no, wrong. I might have just thrown her on the show, but not in that moment. Not while we're talking about tobacco enemas. Right. All right, while Shannon is calling, the producers are also knocking on the window, so I think they want us to do something.
Okay.
This episode of The Grey Woody Show is brought to you by Leopold's Cheese Danish Shop. Are you always looking for the perfect snack? Something filling and satisfying. Nothing beats a cheese Danish, you know, that delectable treat that you love to hate, especially when you think about how bad they are for you. Well, you deserve the worst. It's not like your body survives life. Just don't think too hard. The cheese Danish is probably the least Danish pastry there is at this point, but who cares? The Danish concept of a pastry was brought over from Austria, where our name originates. Wait, is this the commercial? Are you guys recording already? I can't start over without another $500. Screw it. Leopold's Cheese Danish Shop, now online too, because no one eats a cheese Danish fresh. Thanks, preservatives.
And welcome back to the Grey Woody Show.
Welcome back.
I wish I wasn't here.
Some days you love to podcast, and sometimes the podcast loves to you.
Well, I'm absolutely not surprised that people are doing tobacco juice enemas. I watched this whole thing about coffee enemas and some other thing. I don't know why I can't just be like, nope, this is not for me.
Moving on.
Once it starts, I cannot stop, and I just get caught in this hell of knowing things that I could have lived my whole life not knowing.
Mm-hmm. It does happen. I'm sorry. I certainly don't help.
Tobacco juice enema. Okay.
All right. Yes. Got your head around that now.
No. But I'll manage it.
We get to revisit it. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, I got myself a new razor, so I figured we'd shift into wet shaving mode for a moment. So a lot of safety razor handles are made very dainty because they're thinking about men shaving their face. And you need like maneuverability and, you know, you hold it with 2 fingers and work with it. I like a really close shave, and a lot of the ability to shave with a safety razor comes from the weight of the head and the handle itself. And so when I want it really close and I'm shaving the back of my head, these really thin handles don't do very much for me. I need to get like a good manly grip on it and scrape the back of my head until all the hair is gone. And you can't really see what you're doing, so you need something that you can feel. And so I went on the hunt for, you know, I've tried a bunch of different razor handles. They've all been okay. And then I found a company, West Coast Shaving, that had a handle that they rate their handles by weight. It's a design. You look at the design, but it's named by its weight. So this is a 185 gram. They're 185. And I bought that, and it's made a world of difference. It's really fantastic.
Really?
That is no joke. That is a beast.
Yeah, that's quite heavy and girthy.
Yes.
That was a girthy handle.
But yeah, so you're not holding it in your fingertips. You grab the whole thing and you're raking the back of your head with it. So I really like that it fits. It's just over 4 inches long, girthy, as you said, very girthy.
Sounds about average.
Knurled very nicely so that it's, even when wet, it's super grippy. So their handles, they have an antique brass one. So this is the black titanium.
Yep.
They have an antique brass one, but when you get the antique brass one, they only have regular old chrome heads. So
it probably looks stupid.
Yeah, I thought the brass and that chrome head were going to look really dumb together. So I skipped on that. And I mean, the handle itself, depending on which finish you get, is only like $17. Super affordable.
Sure.
And then the head's only a few bucks. But they were doing a really great sale. And so getting the head and the handle together was cheaper than just buying the handle. Ended up being under $20 shipped. However, when you clicked on it, it said, since I was getting the black handle, they have these 2 specialty heads that came only in chrome, and it said all of the regular ones came in black. And so I like an open tooth. You see how instead of the bar across it or little grooves, it's fully open there. Because I have like the moles on my head, I find that the open tooth actually allows for it to adapt better and roll over those without cutting them, even though it seems contrary to what you would think. I get less cuts with the open comb, something about the way I shave that just works better. So I ordered it, and then it came with the chrome head.
Okay.
I was like, hey, I don't really care per se, but your listing says it comes with a black head if you just get a regular open comb and not their weird, it had a weird name, where the open comb widened, so it was like triangles on it instead of lines.
Yep.
So I was actually really annoyed with West Coast Shaving at first because the email exchange was horrible. They basically told me that I was an idiot and they were in the process of updating all of their pictures to change out that black head. And I'm like, no, the picture shows chrome, but the description says these 2 are chrome, these 2 are black. Like, I'm not talking about a picture. I read words.
Well, I know words are just pictures, Nathan.
Yeah, I know what they're used to dealing with. So I was like, guys, like, come on. I read everything, please. And so they were like, well, I'm sorry, but we just don't have that. So my next email to them was a link to this head. And I'm like, well, that's really funny because it's right here. And then I got the most apologetic response ever because they said that they had been informed by their IT department that that was completely out of stock, and that's why they were updating everything. So upon realizing that that's still in stock, they were like, we're doing it wrong. That's supposed to come with the razor. Everything was a mistake on our part. We just didn't understand. We thought it was gone. And then I got a response from the owner, a discount code. They sent me the black head and then another backup chrome head and told me to keep the other chrome head. So I am back to supporting West Coast Shaving. They made everything right in the end. It was a headache I didn't need at the moment. But I got the fully matching black one just because I love the brass, but until I find like either a Bakelite head or a brass vintage head, I don't need a brass handle and a chrome head.
Right.
So, if you're looking for a very particular style of handle, West Coast Shaving has like 12 different designs. And again, they're named by the weight, so you know exactly what kind of weight you're getting. And they line them all up next to each other with measurements so you can figure out what your hands, because not everybody has a, paw that they hold their razor in like I do.
I would describe it as a mitt.
Yeah. And that's one of my, when I'm shaving, especially the back of my head, I like to be able to grip over the razor head or hook under it on the backside. And that's the other reason I like the open comb, is I can tell when I'm getting too close to the blade. I feel the feedback from that, and you can just grind away, because I am not the gentle head shaver that some people are.
Does the bottom of that unscrew so you can put like matches and a fish hook and some line in there.
You know, if they did the survival knife concept and did that and let you put things there,
looks just like one.
I know it really does, but no, it only unscrews from the head. And that's the other nice thing. Most of the safety razor heads are pretty universally threaded, so you can just buy their handles and use your favorite head still. I tried all the butterfly heads, and every one of them, the way it doesn't. So when you put the blade in here, it conforms to that, you know, angle, that curve.
Yeah, that's a curve. Yeah.
The butterflies leave the blade sticking too flat still, and I find that they actually cut my head a lot. Everybody's different. Everybody has different preferences. But every one of those ones that pops open on the top and closes, while it's super handy and doesn't make you take the whole thing apart every time, I've tried 4 different butterfly heads from cheap to expensive, and every one of them nicks the living crap out of me. So I only stick with these. I have a slant that I really like where it's at a weird angle, and then it works like a scythe where it's cutting, you know, at an angle as it goes, and it does a better job cutting. The problem is I have 2 major areas where I need straight lines, you know, over my where my beard ends. And you cannot get a perfectly straight line with a slant. You're always creating some kind of angle on it.
Right.
So I had to switch back to just a nice regular open comb. So there's a fun sharp implement update.
Yay.
On that note, actually, while we're talking about it, Will from Barrister and Man reached out to me asking for a little bit of assistance. He's developing a new scent. I think it'll be a soap and maybe some other things. But I am not at liberty to discuss any of the details yet, except that it's something that he would rely on my expertise for, and something that I think would be of great interest to our common listener. So I'll leave it there. It is in very, very early stages of development, worked out first possible formulations, materials are on the way, and I'll get some sample scents soon. But I really think when this comes to fruition, if it isn't a failure, it's something that the show might be super interested in, especially, you know, the wet shavers. But it might be other scents besides soap. He might do it as an eau de toilette or something too. That's what he calls his colognes.
Odor toilets?
Yes.
Odor toilets?
Odor toilets.
Interesting.
Have you seen the new Lamy coming out?
Nope.
I really, really like it. I really, really don't like the name. So let me pull up a screenshot of that for you too. It confused me a little bit, and I think you'll understand rather quickly. The new Lamy Safari Scarlet.
Oh, that's a plum pen called Scarlet? Okay.
Like, guys, come on, man. Nothing about that is Scarlet.
Nope.
I absolutely love it, but I hate that you decided to call it Scarlet.
It's pretty.
I mean, there's no plum pudding tobacco right now. Maybe they should have called it Safari Plum Pudding.
Yeah.
No, it'll be back.
Yeah, there's nothing. Scarlet is red. That's purple.
It's very purple, too. It came out yesterday.
Yep.
Neat. For those not in our timeline, this came out on March 4th, 2025. This was not on my 2025 bingo card. Oh man, I screenshotted it with their comment over it, but there is a thing about it looking like asparagus and beets.
What? Germany, just stop.
But yeah, it is so. I mean, beets are even scarlet. They're red. This thing is purple, like as purple as you can get. Like when I overstain a Berkshire, this is the color of it. You know, if I don't buff it back far enough, it looks like a Lamy Safari Scarlet.
It looks nice.
Yeah, really, really gorgeous new purple pen. If you want it from Lamy, just ignore the name. I'm sure it'll be affordable like they usually are.
It's not the first time they did something like that. The orange one that we like so much is also called red.
Yep, that's a red. Yeah.
Yep. It's good. It's like a terracotta color, but they call it something red.
I think they actually called it Terra Red.
Terra red. Yep.
Which terracotta is not red. And you can do like a Terra Red that's kind of terracotta and kind of red. But that is as orange Terra as it gets. Right. And they called it Terra Red.
Yep.
The charcoal one that I like, the black that's not super black, that's really a grade black. They were calling that one, man, when I started explaining it, I had it in my head. Umber.
Umber?
Yeah. That's what actually caught my eye. I was like, an umber pen. I'm like, that's gray.
Yes, that's gray.
A very dark gray bordering on black. I don't think in Germany they know what the English words for colors actually mean.
Nah, nor do they care. Clearly.
Why would they? Everybody's going to buy it anyway. Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
The last major item I have on my list this week is that we are darn close right now, and either before this episode comes out or as this episode comes out, we will have hit an awesome milestone of 25,000 downloads.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. By my maths alone, it is a guarantee by the time people start downloading this episode, we will hit 25,000.
Amazing.
And a lot of that is because we have more and more regular listeners every single week. It's been fantastic. The growth in the show has been crazy. So we're going to do something for 25,000.
Yep.
We stopped giving stuff away constantly because you guys just take and take and...
No, you guys took Midbird, took from him right to the poorhouse, man. Yeah. Took him right out of a job. I don't want that to happen to me.
But no, we've had a few conversations. I don't know if we've landed on it, but yeah, we will have something to give away.
Yep.
Or raffle.
We're going to give away this fine straw.
You
can't have the brush, though. I need that. But you can have this metal straw. It makes a sound like this when you tap it. When you blow through it, it makes a sound like this. That's a good giveaway. You tap it on a table, and it sounds like this. Amazing. All this can be yours to one lucky listener. Actually, no, I'm lying. I'm keeping it.
I don't really want to give you my straw. Come on.
You can't have it. I'm going to use it for something. But not to give away.
No. So we have a couple options. I don't think we've landed on one.
This fine inspector's eyeglass. Could use some cleaning.
Ooh, yeah, it's gunked up.
I'll give it away if I don't have to clean it. If I have to clean it, it's going to cost you $10. But you take it and you hold it up and you look at stuff, and it actually, this is not a very good magnifying glass. No, it's not. It's not. No. What's this one? I have another bigger one, too.
I don't know why there's so many magnifying glasses.
Well, because Jack went through a phase.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that, actually.
Yeah, you know what? These are terrible. These are not good. I'm keeping them anyway. For nostalgic purposes. Could give away... this guitar pick. It's a 0.6 millimeter. It's kind of tag. I don't know why it's gritty feeling. I think I might have spilled something on it and it just dried on it.
I think you might have spilled all over here because those look like something spilled on them.
Could be pee. I don't know. Could be tobacco enema. No. Yep. One lucky winner of whatever we decide to do to reward you for listening to us will receive this grimy guitar pick.
Hold on to that.
All right, yeah, okay. I guess I can't give that away either.
might need it. If it's grimy, it might be like the perfect tackiness that you need to play that next sick riff.
Maybe. How about this gently used tube of ultra strength Ben Gay non-greasy cream?
Gently.
I know a bunch of your ears just perked up. You're like, man, I was going to have to go buy some of that. But if they're just going to give it away for me listening to their show, who cares if it was open? I don't even know where this came from. This just turned up on my, it's been used. Gross. I don't even know what Ben Gay does.
No idea.
He used to work at a radio station in Canada. I don't know what he's doing now. Operating cranes or something.
Yeah. Got that crane going.
Let's say, oh.
I am personal friends with too many crane operators. I don't know how you accumulate crane operating friends.
Seems pretty cool.
I think he's the fourth one. That's a weird number to have.
The crane kids are like those kids that didn't want to play with you at all because they were busy using their little Tonka cranes and their sandboxes. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, this is still good. It expires December of this year, so
lots of time. Yeah,
lots of time to use this whole tube up. But don't use it on wounds or damaged skin. Or with a heating pad.
It for?
It doesn't say what it actually is for. Okay. It does not anywhere.
Don't use it on any of the things that I think you might need it for.
It says the topical analgesic cream.
Numbing.
For your butt.
It makes things numb, but not wounds. Do not put it on a wound.
Yeah, don't put it on a wound or use a heat pad on it. Or on a child under 12 years of age with arthritis-like conditions. Oh, what? Okay. Don't put it on your mucous membranes. So I guess you can't use it for what it says you can use it for on the label. Not to be used I don't
think that's what analgesic means, but okay.
Not to be used in tandem with your tobacco enema that you're going to try to use to contact the dead. Oh my God. Johnson & Johnson, you need to be stopped. Why? Anyway, I don't know where that came from. I don't know why that's here. I thought it was funny, so I left it on the table.
Yeah, it just appeared on our studio table. Kind of weird.
There's a cat collar. And some deodorant that you can't have because I need that. It looks like we're not giving you guys anything. This is our stuff. Get your own stuff.
All right, thanks for the 25,000 downloads. You'll buy stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Recommend eating the stupid looking ones first. It's hard to eat something that looks cool.
Yeah.
That's why we eat deer. Mm-hmm. You ever realize how dumb deer look?
They do look pretty bad.
Bunch of idiots running around, jumping in front of your car.
Yeah, they run from your gun, but they jump in front of your car.
Stupid looking animal. That's why we eat them. Cows.
Yep.
You ever looked at a cow?
Yeah.
Wow, what a dumb thing. The only thing dumber than a chicken's a rock. Yeah, we eat the dumb ones first.